So who remembers the Arrivecan app? In case you didn't know, this was a very Orwellian application that you had to have on your smartphone to get back into your own country. Now, despite being a gross violation of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, completely unnecessary and ineffective, the Auditor General has just released a scathing report about the company that contracted the work on this application. It was awarded $100 million in government contracts. Now, this was the main topic of conversation in question period in the House of Commons today, and Conservative MP Larry Brock wasted no time coming out swinging against the Prime Minister. Let's take a look.
Oral questions, questions orales. The Honourable Member for Brantford, Brant South, Six Nations.
Speaker, today the Auditor General released a scathing audit on the top Arrive scam fraudster GC Strategies. This two-person basement dwelling company feasted on 64 million taxpayer dollars. This was a direct gift from the Liberal government who allowed basic procurement rules to be completely ignored over the last 10 years. Canadians still don't know who did the work, what was done, if they were qualified, if they had security clearances. This is complete government incompetence. The ask is simple. When will taxpayers get their money back?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the honourable member for his question. I thank the Auditor General for her service. I note that GC Strategy has been prohibited from government contracts for 7 years, and it's that standard, the minimum. As a member of Canada's new government and a new member of Parliament, we will uphold higher standards, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member.
Now notice, instead of actually answering the question, Mark Carney makes his usual comment about this being a new government. But that wasn't the question, Mark. He was asking, when will Canadians get their money back? Now, he did point out that this firm has been banned from receiving government contracts for 7 years. But that doesn't exactly give us our money back, does it?
For Brantford, Brant South, Six Nations.
Mr. Speaker, shockingly, the very same Liberal ministers who had their fingerprints all over the Arrive scam are still in Cabinet today. Right. Namely, the Jobs Minister, the U.S. Trade Minister, and his Foreign Affairs Minister. Their lack of ministerial responsibility is both negligent and inexcusable. The fraudulent payment of $64 million isn't just about reckless spending, it's a total waste of taxpayer dollars and a betrayal of Canadians who are living through a cost of living crisis. So I ask the Prime Minister again, when will taxpayers get their money back?
That's a good question.
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to commend the members opposite for supporting the Making Life More Affordable Act to get taxpayer dollars back to Canadians and commit. This government is committed. This new government is committed to making the best use of all taxpayers' dollars.
The Honourable Member for Selkirk Interlake.
Unbelievable. He did it again. This new government. He's quite clearly trying to absolve himself from any involvement in this, even though most of his ministers were present in the Trudeau government when all this went down. Unbelievable. Now, outside of the House of Commons, because of course Pierre Poilievre doesn't have a seat anymore, he gave a press conference where he continued to hammer Mark Carney and the Liberals on this point. Let's check it out.
Today's Auditor General's reports, I should say, are a chronicle of Liberal incompetence and an orgy of Liberal waste. We have here GC Strategies, the company the Liberals gave over 100 separate contracts from 31 different departments, which is under RCMP investigation. The contracts were for IT, even though GC Strategies does not actually do IT work. We all remember this is the same contractor that did the unnecessary and useless COVID app that was way over budget and could have been completed for a fraction of the cost. We now know that in other contracts, the government overpaid. They often didn't even check what the market rate was for the services that they were buying. Quote, actions of the federal government frequently did not demonstrate value for money. Federal government made payments without evidence that all the deliverables were received. Translation, they paid even when they didn't see that the job was done. So 46% of the contracts examined, there was no evidence that the work was completed, and yet the government paid for it. It'd be like if you walked into a restaurant, you were never served a meal, but you paid the bill anyway and added a big tip and sent off the bill to the taxpayer. That's what Liberals have done with your money in this case. So now, who's responsible? Well, Public Safety Minister LeBlanc was at the time, Public Safety Minister who helped get these contracts out. Now he's been promoted in the Liberal government. So it is the same Liberal ministers, the same Liberal gang, making the same Liberal mistakes that cost Canadians a fortune. And that is why we are calling for accountability. We're calling on the government to get our money back. They need to go to GC Strategies and get our money back so taxpayers can be made whole. We must ensure our government spends money wisely to protect the taxpayers, to make sure this is a country where hard work pays off with a great life in a beautiful home on a safe street.
What do you make of the fact that public servants are not being held accountable for failing to check that this work, signing these contracts and never checking that the work's going to be done? Should there be punitive measures here?
Well, yes. I mean, anybody who did that should be fired, but the politicians should be held accountable as well. I mean, I just finished listing all of the Liberal ministers that were in charge of these various departments that went ahead and spent this money even though it was unnecessary. I mean, look at Patty Hajdu. We said that the Arrivecan app was unnecessary, and they went ahead and used it anyway. We didn't need it. It didn't do any good, and it cost a fortune. Why was she not held accountable instead of promoted by Mark Carney? Why was Dominic LeBlanc, who was the public safety minister, not held accountable? Why was Sean Fraser promoted after he made these mistakes? This Liberal government is in a habit of promoting politicians who waste people's money and screw up people's lives.
So he's correct in pointing out that this app was completely unnecessary, because one of the main purposes of the app was to ensure that travelers, when returning to Canada that were unvaccinated, would have to quarantine for a certain amount of time. This despite the fact that the vaccine did not prevent transmission and that vaccinated travelers were just allowed to go back home while the unvaccinated had to quarantine. This was completely unnecessary and unscientific. Also, he's right to point out that the Liberals are completely unqualified to do the jobs that they are doing. Take this, for instance. Imagine the Liberal public safety minister not knowing anything about firearm regulations. Check this out.
What are the classifications of firearms?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, what I can tell the member is that Bill 21 addresses a number of concerns that we've heard from all Canadians, but it is to ensure that...
I wonder if he's getting past a note right now with them. Without looking at that note, what are the classifications for firearms in Canada? He's a public...
The Honourable Minister.
Restricted, non-restricted, and prohibited, Mr. Speaker.
He looked at the note.
Oh my goodness. Mr. Speaker, this is the public safety minister. Somebody passed him a note with those classifications. Does the public safety minister not know the classifications of firearms at the Committee of the Whole? Yes or no?
Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the questions before us today involves Bill 21, and I will advise this House that...
The Honourable Member.
Classifications of firearms has nothing to do with that. We're not talking about Bill C-21. We're talking about whether something so basic as how a firearm is classified is known by the public safety minister.
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the issue is about Bill 21, and our intention is to ensure that law-abiding gun owners have the ability to hold on to their guns, at the same time taking
The honourable member.
About law-abiding gun owners, but he doesn't even know what classification would be owned by somebody or not owned by somebody. How is that possible, Mr. Speaker?
Now, sadly, the incompetence doesn't even stop there. Here's our Minister of Immigration demonstrating that she does not even know how many immigrants have expired visas that haven't left the country yet. This is absolutely egregious.
There's a lot to unpack here. There are 500,000 people as of December that should have been removed from Canada. How many were removed?
The honourable minister.
So, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. You need to contextualize the numbers when we present them in this House. There's facts.
You still have time, Minister. You have a few seconds.
Look at the Speaker. Look at his face. He's completely embarrassed for his own party.
But it's not your time.
You wanted to finish?
Mr. Chair, appreciate that. CBSA and Public Safety Minister, he was here, I believe, Thursday, and he's in charge answering those questions.
How many of the 500,000 people that are not supposed to be in Canada have been removed? Just the number.
Minister.
So thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Again, people whose visas expires or who are here that should not be here need to leave. If they do not, that is a CBSA
Member.
But here's the thing. The minister cannot set levels if she doesn't know how many people have left. So it is her job. So I need to know how many people of that 500,000 has left. How about this? Does she even know? Does she have any clue?
Minister.
So, again, Mr. Chair, my role here tonight is not to talk about people leaving and people that are here that have visas expired and so on in terms of how many have left. That is completely a CBSA function, and the public safety takes care of it.
The honourable member.
Canadians literally pay her $100,000 top-up and give her a car to know these numbers. How many of the 500,000 people that were supposed to leave in December actually left? This is pretty simple. Like, how many? Does she know?
I'm a minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And again, I've answered that question a number of times. I will try one more time.
Yes, please try one more time, because I can assure you, you did not answer that question a number of times.
People leaving because of visas expiry or deportation or anything of that matter is the purview of Canada Border Services Agency, which is not...
The honourable member.
But Chair, her purview is to set the levels plan. So if she's setting levels with hundreds of thousands of foreign students and low-skilled labor, and she doesn't know how many low-skilled labor and foreign students who aren't supposed to be in the country have left, how can she set levels if she doesn't know that number?
That's fair. Minister.
So thank you, Mr. Chair. That gives me again the opportunity to talk about our immigration levels plan, which does set permanent resident numbers. For the first time this past year, temporary numbers have been set. I am proud of the work that was done prior to me becoming a minister, and it is working.
Yeah.
I don't know how these people can be proud of the work that was done in the previous government. The incompetence here is off of the charts, and it's starting to look like this is almost by design. I mean, is it an accident that the entire cabinet just seems to be this clueless and completely incompetent at their jobs? Let me know what you think down in the comments. And that's my show for today, guys. As always, make sure you're subscribed, smash the like button, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.